Back in July, Alina Habba filed an ethics complaint against House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries because Jeffries had the audacity to say that the panel of district judges in New Jersey should vote to remove Alina Habba, which they had the authority to do. They were about to do it, and Jeffries just said, like, yeah, you guys should do that because obviously she hasn't been approved by the Senate. So Habba, of course, filed an ethics complaint against him. Like, how dare you do this to me? So in response to that ethics complaint, several weeks ago, Hakeem Jeffries came out and said this, that he was just speaking the truth about Donald Trump's so-called U.S. attorney in New Jersey. She is woefully unqualified and is a political hack. Alina Habba, you are a complete and total disgrace. I don't give a damn about this so-called ethics complaint. Now, again, that was back in July. We're a week into August at this point. And so Alina Habba this week, again in August, goes on Real America's Voice, talks with host Eric Bolling, and finally decided to respond to Hakeem Jeffries, attack on her. And she did it in the most infantile and childlike way possible. Because Alina Habba responded to that and said, I'm not a political hack. I'm an attorney licensed in 4 states. I've been licensed by the Supreme Court of the United States, and I have practiced law for the better of 20 years and run law firms for most of 15 that were extremely successful despite what the Twitter trolls would like to say. Name calling is kind of beneath me, to be honest. I'm a really accomplished attorney. I'm very proud of the work that I've done and quite honestly, a fierce defender of the Constitution, a patriot, and I love this country. I really want to go ahead and pick apart all of the lies she just told, but I have to continue reading what she said because it gets funnier. My name is Alina Habba. I'm an attorney, and I've been practicing for a very long time, and I am sick and tired of the name-calling, and I think it is exactly the toxicity that this country is done with. Just because they didn't like the outcome of it does not mean you get to name-call a federal official, so it's shame on him. Whoa, you sure put Hakeem Jeffries in his place there. Alina, let me remind you that you actually represented Donald Trump in 2 trials where he was on trial for defamation for doing what? Name calling. He called another woman a liar, and he was actually found liable for defamation for that, has to pay over $80 million. You tried that case. You lost that case, which for the record, nothing against E. Jean Carroll. I'm glad she won. She deserved to win. However, that was a winnable case for any competent attorney. He called me a liar, so I'm suing for defamation. A first-year law student probably could have won that case. That was a very weak case. And again, I'm glad she won. I'm glad Carol won that. But that is like the weakest defamation case I've ever seen, and Alina Habba couldn't win it. But the point is, you're like, name-calling is beneath me. You represented Donald Trump in 2 trials for name-calling someone, and you lost. I have 15 years experience running law firms. So? Every private practice lawyer out there runs a law firm. That's what they do. And for the record, they don't actually do that. You hire people to run those law firms. You were a parking garage lawyer. You had 0 prosecutorial experience before you became the acting U.S. attorney. I'm licensed in 4 states. Oh, sweetheart, that is not something you boast about. Like, you can practice law in 8% of the country. Whoa! Yeah, I've been in the legal industry. I actually just hit my 21-year anniversary last Saturday on August 2nd. And I got to tell you, the lawyers that I work with, the lawyers that I meet at these conferences I go to multiple times per year, they would laugh in your face if you were like, I'm licensed in 4 states. That's this many. They'd be like, oh, that's cute. I'm sure you're struggling to pay your rent every month with that. Now, I'm being facetious about that part, but I mean, these are lawyers, that I deal with, that I work with, that are licensed in dozens of states. I mean, they practice law all over the country, and Alina Habba's like, I'm a lawyer, my name is Alina Habba! I have 4 states I can go to right now! Yeah, real lawyers don't do that. Trust me, I know, because I've worked with them a lot longer than you have, Alina. But this childlike rant shows that she does not have the temperament to be a U.S. attorney. I don't think she has the temperament to be a parking garage attorney at this point. She is having a massive meltdown because she has to go through a confirmation process where her incompetence is in fact exposed. And she's like, I don't care what the Twitter trolls say. The Twitter trolls are telling the truth. You do not have the experience, you do not have the mental capacity, you do not have the temperament to be a U.S. attorney, and your little temper tantrum to repeatedly fired former Fox, former Newsmax host Eric Bolling is proof of that. Thanks for watching, everyone. We're inching closer and closer to 1 million subscribers, and we're aiming to hit that goal before the year closes. So if you aren't subscribed to the channel, please do so, and don't forget to like, comment, and share. Thanks for joining us as we head towards this huge milestone.